Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, January the 3rd, race number 7 at Santa Anita. Let's throw up the field. Nice state-bred maiden special weight on the turf, 5.5 furlongs for 3-year-olds. You can download 3 formulator past performances on the race of the day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post-position order, beginning with the number 1, Coalinga Road, who showed some speed, Mike, in his career debut on dirt. A real solid effort. He's by Quality Road, 11% winners from first-time turf runners. I wish there was a little bit more turf on the female family, but this horse has experience and speed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the advantage that this horse does have, because I'm with you, the pedigree isn't really there for the surface switch, but at least this horse has some experience. There is not much experience in this race at all. A bunch of first-time starters. This horse ran okay first time out, as you say, had speed, wound up contesting it between horses through the turn. One of the horses he was dueling with, Rookie Mistake, is also back in this field. I don't know, Dan, I thought he ran okay. Maybe he takes a step forward here.
Now the number 2, Austin's Boy, 6-1 on the morning line, certainly has pedigree. Full to Richard's Boy, made $1 million in his career. Horse that I believe placed in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint by Idiot Proof, 3 for 26 with older debut runners, 1 for 13 first turf runners. Dam was a 2-year-old debut winner, unraced on the turf, but this horse is bred for speed and turf and should probably give a good account of himself.
I mean, listen, has a huge pedigree as a full brother to, as you said, Richard's Boy. He's just a really good turf sprinter. We'll see if this horse can sort of keep that family tradition going. Worth pointing out that his trainer, who does a good job overall, over the past 5 years, I've got him at 3 for 121 with first-time starters, so it feels like they just don't crank him up early.
Number 3 is Big Billy. Quick half-mile work for Big Billy at San Luis Rey on December the 29th. Sire Mr. Big's gotten off to a really good start with first-time starters, 7 for 17 overall, 3 for 7 with debut runners aged 3 and up. Mr. Big's progeny, 2 for 13 with first-time turf runners. Second dam was a stakes winner on dirt, turf, and synthetic. So this horse has a little bit of a turf pedigree. Barn doesn't usually have him cranked up to win on turf. We have a formulator fact for the 3 Big Billy, past 5 years on the turf, 0 for 48. But this horse is going to be a price and has some pedigree.
Yeah, right. And this trainer is just 2 for 37 with first-time starters over the past 5 years. So we'll see what we get from this horse. The pedigree, it's kind of there. You have to get past the first dam. This dam really couldn't run at all. This is her first full. But the second dam, as you pointed out, was a real runner. Handled a lot of different surfaces, was stakes placed, sprinting on the grass. I don't know. I think this horse, if he can get past the first dam, there's something there with this horse.
Number 4 is George Herman, Ruth, named after the great Bambino by Grayson, 8 for 34 with older debut runners, 13% winners with first-time turf runners. Dam was a multiple stakes placed runner on the dirt. She did not win on the turf. She has foaled 1 turf winner. I think it's an acceptable enough turf pedigree. Phil D'Amato does pretty good work with these kind of horses. Past 2 years, 3-year-old debut runners in state-bred maiden special weight turf sprints at Santa Anita, 33% winners, nice ROI.
And the trainer's the best thing about it, in my opinion. We'll see what we get from this horse. The dam, we'll probably remember. She was a New York bred. She did some pretty good work around Aqueduct. She wanted to go long on the main track. There really wasn't a lot of turf in her performance, but maybe this horse will handle it. 5 World Deluxe Dam was a nice horse. Antares World was a multiple stakes winner on the turf. I believe she placed in the American Oaks. Lucky Public, 7% winners, older debut runners, only 5% with first-time turf runners. Something tells me this horse is going to appreciate this race and maybe on the stretch out next time. And I kind of looked at it that way too. I'm interested to see what he does, because he really does have a nice pedigree. Maybe he just wants to go longer, though. Really bred for the turf. Mike Pipey does actually a really good job with his first-time starters. Can get one to win first time out sprinting on the turf as well. I'm going to use this horse a little bit.
Bernie's Big Boy is the 6, and he's one of the few horses in this race with prior racing experience. A start at Golden Gate Fields on the Tapeta. Didn't really do much running that day. This is a grandson of AP Indy, the sire, 0 for 10 with first-time turf runners. I got to watch this one, even at a big price.
Yeah, I didn't see enough in the debut to make me want to bet him back in this race.
Little turf on the bottom here for the 7 El Diablo Rojo. The dam was multiple stakes placed on the turf. Clubhouse Ride, it's too early to tell how they're going to do on the grass. 1 for 6 with older debut runners, 3 for 14 first-time turf runners. Again, long series of workouts, several 5 furlong works. Just makes me think, again, this is a kind of horse that's going to appreciate experience and more distance.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too. The pedigree is okay, so maybe this horse will come out running first time out. But the way he's working doesn't really seem like this horse is cranked up to fire a big shot.
Love goes out for trainer John Sadler. His sire Lakerville was a serious turf sprinter in his day. 1 for 9 with older debut runners, 1 for 10 first-time turf runners. runners. Dan was 0 for 15 on the turf, but wasn't really bad at all. And this horse goes out for Sadler, who does well with first-time starters.
Does well with first-time starters. You're right that the dam, 0 for 15 on the grass, but she ran a race on the surface. It just felt like she was one of those horses in Southern California. The races were just a little too tough for her. She won races when they got her out of Southern California. We'll see what happens. Worth noting that she's had 3 foals already. 2 of them are turf sprint winners. This horse is bred to win early, bred to sprint on the grass, and Sadler does a good job with first-time starters.
Rookie mistake. The 9, arguably the horse to beat. So already placed twice, once on the turf, once on the dirt. We'll go back to this horse's one and only start on turf, the career debut in the familiar Redham Silks on the lead. Mike turning into the stretch as the favorite, but it's going to get run down late. This is a full brother to Jimmy Bouncer, who was a good sprinter on dirt and turf, but kind of a disappointing loss the way she got tired at the end.
I mean, he did really get tired at the end. He did contest the pace early. He did prevail in the duel. He just didn't really have anything left for the closers at the end. I thought he still looked a little bit green in there, and he did take a step forward, I guess, last time on the main track, so maybe he can bring that form back over to the grass here, and if he does, I guess it'll be tough to beat.
That was a decent enough field. The 5th place horse from that turf race we just saw came back to run second with a 71 buyer at Del Mar on the turf. This horse listed as a vet scratch at Los Al on December the 15th, but does have a couple of gate work since then for trainer Doug O'Neill. We'll take a look at our top picks for this race. Kind of odd. We're both going with first-time starters in here. You like Love. You trust Sadler. This horse has a really nice pedigree, bred for sprint. And there are several horses in this race bred for longer distances. I like George Herman, Ruth. I like the pedigree, at least with Grazin on top on turf. I like D'Amato with these first-time starters. 6-1 for George Herman, Ruth. Love, Johnny Sadler. 5-1 for you.
I mean, we'll see how the betting shakes out in this race. They have the 2 experienced horses as the morning line favorites.
I get it.
And I mean, I have no argument with that. We'll see how they wind up betting the race. I'm happy to take a shot against them.
8592 for Mike, 4297 for me. Race number 7 at Santa Anita on Friday is your DRF race of the day. Approximate post time 3:08 Pacific. Good luck.